motivational quote today from Jonathan Ellery. A quote that is one of my favorites, and I will say is probably one of my guiding principles in life, almost to the extent that it's an obsession, if you will, and that is to be fearful of mediocrity. Mediocrity, let's talk about what that is. Mediocrity is settling for the average. Mediocrity is saying to oneself that good enough is good enough, knowing full well that it never ever is. Mediocrity is the lack of motivation, inspiration, desire, and drive to rise above the average that everybody else accepts. Be fearful of that mediocrity. If you're going to be scared of something, this is what you need to be scared of. Don't be that guy or that gal. Don't be average. Don't be the face among the many faces in the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, if you accept conventional wisdom, you'd better be willing to accept conventional results. And I don't know about you, but the more I research it, the more I learn about it, the more I look into it, the less I am impressed with the idea of convention and conventional results. People will say, you know, that's the safe thing to do, that's the responsible thing to do what everybody else is doing. I would argue that all that's going to get you is what it's gotten everybody else, and that's average. If you want average, here's what average looks like. You spend tens of thousands of dollars a year accumulating hundreds of thousands of dollars of student debt to acquire a degree that will allow you to go out into the workplace and ask somebody else to assign a value to each one of your valuable hours based on what they see your worth being. You'll work at that particular position for decades, building up somebody else's dream while you put yours on the back burner, and then you'll be able to save up enough money to live off of roughly 40% of what you couldn't afford to live off of in the first place. That's the convention. That's conventional wisdom, and if that's what you want, you're in the wrong place. Mediocrity, ladies and gentlemen, being mediocre, being average, being a nameless face among the crowd is not what any of us, I believe, in this room are interested in. I know I'm not, and I certainly hope that you are not either. And so we will strive to go beyond that mediocrity, to do what is uncomfortable, to do what is difficult, to do what is expensive, so that we can learn how to live a life that those who accept mediocrity never, ever will. I attract money, the affirmation for today. One of the things that we're going to need if we're going to be that person who is not mediocre is money. And there are people who will say, well, you know, Bill, money isn't all that important. What's funny about that is that the people who will say to you, money is not all that important, generally speaking, are broke. And they're using that as an excuse, as a justification for their inability to learn or unwillingness to try to become wealthy. Money is that important, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not the money that's important, it's the things that you can and should do with it to improve your life and the lives of your family and those that you care about, as well as to give it away and allow others to benefit from your wealth and wealth building by your choice and not by the choice of the government or any other individual at the point of a gun, if you will, under threat of force. One of the beautiful things about building wealth for yourself is that you have the ability to distribute that wealth to those that you see as deserving or in need of it. Today, I attract money. And this is an affirmation, ladies and gentlemen. Affirmations are how we reprogram the default settings that were given to us by our parents, by our grandparents, by our teachers, our preachers, our coaches as we were growing up, that has in all likelihood worked against your ability to build wealth and abundance in your own life. We've got to say these things out loud with enthusiasm, with emotion, so that we can internalize them and they will materialize. I attract money.